Mathieu and Matthew Stapley to bring you this show for tonight. Oh. Hi everyone, my name is Alain Jean-Baptiste. Welcome to the Sitch Show. I have with me Ashley Mathieu and Matthew Stapley, and we're going to bring you a very, very great show tonight. We've been working on it for a week. First off, I would like to thank all the people that are following us, and if you can share it, that would be greatly appreciated. We've just started. This is our third episode, and we have a lot of material for you. We have a new segment called The Good Shit, which is at the end, which you'll love. I'll give you techniques on how to handle loneliness right now, and also give you a little bit of COVID news, and have our panel members discuss them with me. So without further ado, I'd like to present Matthew Stapley and Ashley Mathieu with me tonight. Hey guys.
Hey.
Is my face frozen?
Did you have a frog in your throat, bud?
I was just watching the thing, like I'm waiting for the pause for the director to say action.
Action.
So, all right, first off, we want to thank for people that are here, and I'd like to personally, as one of the co-creators of the show, I wanted to apologize for those people last week that felt that some of the language was a bit too much and felt a bit as if I was talking about them. I mentioned something as, you can't fix stupid. And I believe, unfortunately, some people thought I was talking about them, which I wasn't. It was a broad statement. So I wanted to apologize myself. And I believe all the others we had the chance to talk about, because we had some feedback. We had great feedback. But like everything that we do, we always want to bring it to the next level. And we felt that being empathic, that some people felt that some of the comments that were made by either myself, Matthew, or Ashley were inappropriate for the level of, let's say, spirituality we want to project, and the image we want to project also of us caring, because we really do, right? And so I'll let you, actually, Matthew, because you had some feedback. So
I did, yeah. I mean, I think that as human beings, as individuals, we all have our own opinions, and we cannot live without judging at some point, right? We can strive to be non-judgmental, but we always end up judging at some point. And there was some feedback that we were just a little smidge too savage, which we take full responsibility for. I mean, it can be fun sometimes to let this steam out and vent our frustrations, but we also never, ever want to intend that we hurt anybody. We do want this to be a show about taking, the higher road, or at least the more broad-ranged view road. And so, of course, as a group, we are apologizing to anybody who felt offended. Now, I cannot promise that we will not swear and say sometimes terrible NSFW things. But what I can say is that when we do all of that and drop the F bombs and the S bombs and the H bombs and the just basically the A to Z bombs, that we are never directing it at a person. We want to empower you as individuals to go out there and shake the dust off and like steer the shit show ship in a new direction. And that is the purpose of our show. So if you felt in any way personally offended, it is from our heart and our soul and everything else that we are, that, you know, we apologize to you. And now Ashley can follow that.
I'm gonna put it out there that I am as blunt as can be and really have no filter. But when I have no filter, it's not because I want to offend anybody. It's because I'm just a straight shooter and always have been. Not exactly that straight of a shooter, but you know what I mean. So I mean, if we offend anyone, apologize, but we don't ever intend to have our jokes or unfilteredness offend anybody. This is all conversation and whatnot. So if you were offended, sorry about it.
I think that's your apology. That's pretty good.
There.
Speaking of which, you were on TV today, I believe.
I have it for the last 3 days. It's been great.
And how was that?
Shaking shit up.
Speaking of COVID news, so tell us. I know, but while most people know, or those that don't know, Ashley owns 2 Anytime Fitness, and so now that the COVID restrictions in Ontario, Canada, Ottawa precisely, have started. You had to close the gym, I believe, Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday, we closed them down. We had no notice whatsoever. Ford was just like, yeah, you're closed. So us, restaurants, bars, Cineplex, even a change with kids' sports. You can't scrimmage anymore. So just a lot of changes. But a lot of those changes ended up affecting us in a big way because we're not... Yeah, so we've had to shut down. We have 20 locations across the city, so we've had to shut them all down. Actually, that's a lie. Perth, Kemptville, and Carleton Place are still open.
Okay.
Because they're not part of the city of Ottawa. But anyway, so we had no notice. I actually found out through CBC, who called me in the morning to do an interview with me, and I'm like, what the hell do you want to interview me now for? And usually it's for never a good reason. And then they told me, well, it looks like your gyms are going to be closing. So that's how I found out. And then my sister sent me a tweet. And I was like, what the... So I had an interview with them. We closed that day at 5 o'clock. All of our gyms are closed. So if anyone knows me, knows that I don't shut up. And I'm very passionate about what I believe in. So myself and a few others have been a very loud voice towards Ford Nation and also our mayor. Ford Nation. But in doing so, our petition is almost at 10,000 on change.org.
Okay.
We've got the attention of our mayor, of our MPPs. We have a motion now being put in. So it's on CBC on Friday. I was on CTV on Saturday. And then today, CTV came out and did a bigger segment on us where Jesse and Jeff kind of led the way on that one, Parliament Hill. So it looks like all of the noise that we're making for those in the fitness community is actually starting to turn some cranks. And at the end of the day, we're doing this, not obviously we want to be open, but if we can get some information and some respect from our government to tell us, you know what, these are the reasons why we made you shut your establishment. And here's some information that backs this. Then at the end of the day, that's what we want, because we want everyone to be safe and we want to get through this all together. But to shut our businesses down with just a quick flip of the switch and give literally no feedback, no information or evidence as to why, for me, that kind of, me and many others has struck us the wrong way. And one of the analogies I've been saying is, listen, if you get arrested and you get charged, you go to court, and throughout that court proceedings, you need to be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There needs to be evidence shown that you've done something wrong. And in our case, we've done everything right and still got smashed in the face. So for us, getting found guilty when we've done everything correct really doesn't sit well with me, which is why I've used my platforms to be a voice, as well as a couple of others. And it's now starting to fall in the right ears, which is great.
So Matthew, as a psychic, now,
Oh God.
going through all this, because this is a show. We're psychics, right? So listening to this, I understand Ashley's frustration. You as a psychic, probably like me, you've been seeing this for months. How do you respond to something like that? I'm afraid of Ashley, so that's why I ask you to talk first.
Everyone's afraid of Ashley. Are you kidding? Like I've had nightmares, like drywalling incidents, like U-Hauls driving into my house when Ashley's mad. Just kidding. Yeah. So I think, I've seen this coming for a while. I didn't know what was coming before this year started, but I knew something was coming that would affect the world as a whole. Terrifying. That would affect the world as a whole. Now, over the summertime, I did get strong feelings that at this time of year, these kinds of things would happen this year, with closures and a second wave and all of that. I mean, as a psychic, I don't know what to say other than like I saw that shit was going to happen. But I think as a person, like I'm very compassionate towards people who are working hard and feeling like it's just being like tossed away by the government. I'm very compassionate towards that. I'm compassionate about the people who are afraid, and who are scared with good reason. I mean, it's terrifying. This pandemic is terrifying for many, many people. So I'm compassionate towards that. I think though, like I really just have to look at it as a human, right? Because I can't really like look at it like it's in a goldfish bowl on my shelf. I'm looking at it as I'm somebody who's also going through this.
You mean a crystal ball?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever. I don't even have one.
We don't use.
What kind of psychic am I? I don't even have it.
There, we don't use goldfish. Go ahead.
But yeah, so I think we have an opportunity. Like I said before, I think we have an opportunity to work together as communities. I think Ashley's doing a fantastic example by getting loud. And if anyone knows any one of us on any level, even for like 30 seconds, is that we're not exactly quiet people at all. And the one thing that I think we need to do as a humanity at this time is examine the broken systems. And I think what's happening, in the Ontario situation is very beautiful in a sense, because in the past the government would say, okay, we're going to do this and just trust us. And, there would be groups of people that say, no, I don't think so. But in this case, that they're trying that and everyone's like, that doesn't add up. So I think this pandemic has taught people how to think more critically, which is beautiful. I think that this is an opportunity to break broken systems once and for all so that we can create new healthy systems. And I think overall, we're coming together. It's a beautiful coming together that is happening for people who want the world to shift in a positive direction. So psychic, the human, that's my take. Yeah.
I'd like, as a person of mulatto, which is black and white, I will blend both for you, Matthew. So
thank you. Please do.
Stick
them together.
Well, for myself, I've been predicting this early on during the year. So when I see it,
I hated you for it.
I know that. That's why I'm afraid of her, because she knows where I live.
She has boxing gloves.
But I can understand her frustration, because I think a day or two before last week, I told you I couldn't actually get up and actually go to the gym. No matter what I wanted, my body wouldn't let me do it. And I called her. I said, that's freaky. And I panicked for like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, I can't go to the gym. Because most people know I go every morning and train 5 times a week. And so for me, at that moment, I just felt, that sense of loneliness for once that I felt probably in, I don't know, a decade. Because usually if I start feeling a bit lonely, I just, go in meditation, talk with my guides, and I'll give people some examples in a couple of minutes or techniques. But in that sensing, seeing, again, the people, I think a lot of people, from what I'm sensing, they're a bit frustrated because they would have expected the government to be more prepared. And I think a lot of the frustrations from also people from the gym or restaurants is they'll probably put the schools as responsible for letting, kids go back to school in that sensing, even though the numbers show that, it's just people gathering together that are causing most of the problems. But I think for myself, they should have done it earlier on instead of waiting for the numbers to pile up, because now it's just going to pile. I mean, yeah, I think what was the count today? There's more. In any effect, I'd predicted that. So, people, if they look at my shows or probably yours, they'll see that we talked about that, and that it's going to get better over time, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is frustrating. And I think that the important thing is to keep working together to make sure that everybody's safe. And at the same time, looking at, okay, well, what could we have done differently? Like for myself, I said to my son, you know, you can't go back to school. You'll have to work from home. And so I think that should have been looked at. I know that there's some statistics that say, you know, it's better for the kids to go to school overall. But at the same time, it's just, you sneeze and they send you away for a week, you know, and then the parents rush and then they go back. And ultimately, probably they'll close the school in 2 weeks or so or whatever. But in any case, the idea behind COVID, I find a lot is, and we just had Black Matters. Is it Black Lives Matter? Sorry.
Yeah.
That up so bad. Black Lives Matter. And it shows that people are looking for freedom, right? They're looking for that ability to just start bringing their voice out. And for many countries across the world, it's been the same thing over time. We're seeing that, you know, people rely too much on the government. You know, they'll fix everything. I mean, even Canada shut down the pandemic, the global pandemic response. I forgot the name of the program that we had because it was getting a little bit too political for them. You know, they weren't saying it right, or they weren't doing this right. And then, let's just shut it down. Never mind that we could have avoided most of this worldwide because WHO uses 20% of that information that we give them, right? But in any case, I think people voicing out and becoming more individually responsible that we can look at. For
the record, I do want to say that when I looked at the gyms, I was not worried. I didn't think it would close again. It's clearing the air here. When I looked at the gyms, I was like, I'm not in panic. I don't think there's anything wrong with the gyms. And I mean, I was right because we haven't had outbreaks. I was just wrong in the closings. I didn't think Doug Ford would close gyms that have nothing fucking wrong to them. That's it.
I really believe, this is my belief, is that, and I want to know what you guys believe and also what the people in the chat believe. I really think the government was like, we need to show we care. So let's just close something. And they played ring toss to see what was going to happen, right? And everybody knows the schools are a huge part of the spread of this. Everybody knows that. It's
common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, your intuition says don't let the kid go to school.
Yeah.
But the government's saying, no. Don't trust your intuition.
Yeah.
Take care of it for you.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. So what do you guys think is going to happen? I'm just curious. I think that the people are going to really start taking a stand over the next month, and there's going to be pushback on both sides, between now and December. Yes, Ashley's a good example.
She's doing it.
She's our superhero of the dumbbells. I feel like she, what she's doing.
I got it.
Oh my God. I feel like I need an entire collection of things to show on the screen. I'm going to work on that.
Clean.
It's amazing.
Got a mohawk on it.
Oh, we've got lots of comments. But yeah, what do you think, LA?
He's jealous of my unicorn head.
Now I'm trying to answer the question intuitively. Just give me a second here. No, I think the level of stress is going to crank up. It is going to crank up. I mean,
it's
people
happening.
Are tired. I talk to business people. They're just fed up. They're just, since January, it's go. And yes, the subsidies, this and that. It's those are fun. Well, fun. They're helpful, but you have to go through them. You have to apply for them. You have to go through them. You have to wait this. Then you're planning, okay, what am I going to do for the future? Okay, what's my kid going to do? Is he going to go to university next year? Is he going to be post-op? Is he going to be able to do soccer because they can't do it now? So what happens to the practices? And it's just so much being overwhelmed. And then again, that feeling of loneliness is that, okay, well, nobody's can really help me right now. What am I going to do? So,
we should talk about the loneliness stuff.
Yeah,
we should. Let's do it.
All right.
So I'm reading comments on the side.
Yes, me too. They're really good ones.
So first of all, let me just say hi to everybody here. Hi, Michael, Mo, Mariana, Lisa, Cass, what's up? Lisa, and let's see, Faye, Jackie, Gidget, I hope I said that right, Cindy, and all Fran, Phyllis. There's so many people. Pam, I'm sorry if I can't read everybody. So welcome. We're going to start taking the comments. Has anyone felt that sense of loneliness that I've been talking about, or that we've been talking about the show so far? And if so, how have you felt it? For some people, it could be nostalgia. For some people, it's been mourning. I believe, Ashley, somebody in your family passed away, I believe last night. Is that correct?
This morning.
This morning. So
Yeah.
we were talking, I believe, last night, all three of us, in terms of, you can't mourn the same way, or you can't go see your loved one in the hospital, even though you've been trying for months, and at the last minute, you can't be there for them because of the COVID restrictions. So has anybody felt anything in that sense, in terms of feeling alone? I'm okay. I don't have anything. Where's my mask?
Just borrow Ashley's.
Yeah. Where's my unicorn head? I know for me, like, I spent Thanksgiving alone. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that did, because we don't want to mix households. Spent
Actually, you're right.
time alone. What was that? I
said you're right. A lot of people have been living Thanksgiving alone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my sister was one of them. Like, we separated. She has an autoimmune condition. So yeah, I spent that alone. I mean, my uncle who passed away this morning, he was lucky enough to have two people by his side, one being my mother. It's the weird thing. Like, I'm super independent. I know some people watching this are very independent as well, but there's a difference between like being independent and then like just feeling alone with a lot of stuff. Like, even going through the club shutdowns, you still feel really alone because it's a livelihood that you've built pretty much feeling like it's being taken from you. So I think there's definitely different versions of loneliness for everybody. For me, it's
one of the faces of loneliness is mourning, actually. When you're mourning something, and some people could mourn the fact of they even get a promotion or another job or move somewhere else. It's that feeling of grief that you lost something, and that for that moment you just feel alone. All right. What do we have here? Alone is the new normal. Okay. Here we go. Super missing my family gatherings and all school staff. We are distance learning. Yeah, that's another thing for children. My son goes to school. He comes into my office every morning and tells me to get out to do his distant learning. And, and that's one way for the kids to keep together, but they do feel that sense of loneliness. He told me the other day, that, he felt lonely because he didn't have any friends right now. And so I'm taking a little bit more time for him to play with. I'm tired of playing Pac-Man. I'll be honest. Nobody can hear me good. I can't take Pac-Man anymore. I swear. Okay. But in that sensing, what are other things how have you been experiencing loneliness, or have you, Matthew?
Not loneliness. Like, I'm going to go with what I think it was Monique had said, not loneliness, but boredom. Yeah,
Boredom.
like, we used to have like board game nights and poker nights and, like all of those fun evenings with craft nights, with friends and stuff like that on a very regular basis. I'm lucky. Like, I live with my wonderful, beautiful boyfriend, which is so easy to spend hours looking at. So really, it's not that boring. And then our roommate and our animals and the blue jays outside and the squirrels and the chipmunks and everyone. So, I've been lucky, but I definitely miss like the friend interactions and stuff like that. And then having to move all of my clients onto the internet was an adjustment. I've never like gone a day without somebody that I don't know sitting in front of me in person. So yeah, like I'm going to go more the boredom direction, but I have heard from a lot of people that the loneliness, the feeling alone, the feeling isolated has really gotten to them. And, and we're experiencing all of this with a completely 100% fuckered astrological chart happening in the last several months. Like, Pluto is right up Uranus, and I don't know what Jupiter's doing. Mars is rocking out. So, we have like all kinds of challenging things happening. And I'm mostly joking about that because I'm not an astrologer, other than that I do know things astrologically have been very crazy. But
I was looking at the stars there outside my window for a moment to make sure that's
did you find Pluto right up Uranus, Alain?
Not yet.
So, I think that it's, I think it's a challenging thing. I think it is also, though, like kind of at a higher level, it is an opportunity for people to go within themselves to learn how to actually do self-care, which is different, I think, than distracting ourselves, right? Like self-care is delving into uncomfortable things for a huge part of it, and learning how to not be as uncomfortable in discomfort. And so I think it's a prime time to learn some really big things, but I also think that it's something that we're being like thrown into. So there is like a kind of am I going to sink or am I going to swim moment that I think a lot of people are experiencing, which is challenging.
I think for the boredom thing, though, if I touch on that, is a lot of people get bored because their daily routine or normal routine is completely changed or taken from them. So they get into a boredom state based on the fact that their everyday stuff is no longer there. So for me, what I would suggest to those people is, okay, your work is now from home. You're not doing like your afternoon coffee breaks with people. You're not associating with a lot more people. Your diet is changing because you're going from work to home and now you're just stuck at home. So people need to find alternate ways to not be bored. So whether that's starting to cook all your meals from home, introducing days where you have a half an hour of exercise at, let's say 3 days a week or 2 days a week, you just start really slow and introduce new things into your day that you couldn't do before. And so now you're creating a new routine because unfortunately, you have to accept it. We're in a completely different way of life. And if you keep the routine from before and try and work with that now, you're going to fight all the time. You're going to fight with the ability of, I can't do this, or this is throwing my routine off. So now you have to look at the time where it's like, shit, well, I'm fucking stuck at home and my entire day is thrown for a loop. So I need to adjust here.
Is there anything that you can recommend for people who want, like, because what I'm hearing, and I think you're absolutely right, is we need to throw the idea of our routine out the window, create a new routine in our current state, right? So is there anything, Ashley, that you would recommend that people can do when pondering the vast and unfathomable notions of creating a new, because that's essentially what we're having to do.
Yeah.
Is there anything like, yeah.
The way I put it is, say you're driving somewhere, you take the exact same route every single time. You've taken it thousands of times, right? And one day they decide to do construction on multiple different routes. You are now forced to go on a detour, and you're going to keep going on that detour. But with that detour, you eventually get to the same path. And that's the same thing with what we're going through now. You're on a detour. In that detour, it's going to suck. You're going to hate it. You're going to get annoyed because you don't know where you're going. But if you go with the flow and you follow the signs that are right in front of you, you will get through it and you will get to the path that you need to go to.
That's awesome. I like that. And so have you thought of technique? Oh, go for it. Do it. I decided I needed to be smoking.
Anxiety, agoraphobia, and people that are actually locked up, right? So there's two things for loneliness. One is, if everybody's ready, I can give a technique on how to contact your spirit guides, which is a very easy one. This is recorded, right, Matthew?
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. For sure.
So the first technique, and if those of you that are following want to be sitting down in a place that's safe, or you can be in a comfortable position, what you do is you just close down your eyes. Okay. You can do so, guys, too, actually, if you want.
I don't trust you.
And then close down or shut down, because those are two.
Shut down, sorry. I'm French. I messed that up.
No, you totally didn't.
Close your eyes. Is that how you say it? Close your eyes. Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Did you say shut?
Sorry. If you want to close your eyes, and you ask the specific question is, how many spirit guides do I have with me at the moment? Now, for some people, you hear a number. For some people, you'll feel a different feeling beside you or behind you. For some of you, you'll be able to see different shades of colors. Sorry, I think I drank too fast. And when you have the number, so if you do the exercise, Matthew, what's the number that comes up for you?
47. Just kidding. It's
you're a fucking choir.
All right, let's see. You know what? I just keep wanting to say like 3, but then more numbers pop in because I'm one of
Ashley
those people.
Most people say 3 to 4.
Yeah.
So if you've had that number, it's not about being right or wrong. It just gives you a number. From that number, you ask, what's your function? And then you go from there. So for some people, when they hear it, like I'll ask you to do it, Matthew, so people can see. If you want to close your eyes again.
I do. If I start doing that, we are going to be here for 7 hours. I guarantee it.
So one of the functions, if somebody wants to do it. Okay, so Jessica Marie is there. She had 4. Okay, Bella 4.
Jessica's having a party apparently.
All right. So once you've done that, Jessica, Bella, I'll take you as an example. You want to ask the question, what's your function to your guides? And then you would just want to listen.
Fucking shit up.
That was exactly what I just thought.
So from that point on, some of you will hear something like protection, direction, vision, being able to help you or support, those type of things. Okay. So whenever you feel lonely, just close your eyes and go from there again and ask the same question. Another example I do for people when I train them to become intuitive and psychic and actually, in terms of real estate, find the house before they get there, or what's the problem with the house before the contractor gets there, or when they're negotiating, is you close your eyes again, and then you imagine every piece of furniture in the room. All right. That trains your brain to go outside. It trains your mind to go outside what's just what you can see. And then afterwards, you push it to, okay, if I imagine going to see the neighbors. So some people will call it out-of-body experience. But really, it's just you using your mind and stretching it with what's called the sense of imagination, which is the 6th sense. From that point on, it allows you to be able to expand your mind and not feel so confined. I did that technique one time with a woman that kept moving. And at one point, there were so many boxes in the house that was driving her crazy because she felt like claustrophobic, closed inside. So I said, listen, make the material in the house lighter as if you can go through it. And from that point on, when I teach people to develop intuitive abilities and give them an address that they have to describe the place, after doing this exercise so often, they're able to actually describe the place with, the little water stream behind, or the neighbor that has a big tree, or somebody that has a car parked there for like months, whatever. So the idea is to stretch your imagination, to use it as a vehicle to transport yourself. Instead of doing it physically, you do it in your mind. And so you can do that by also going on Google, seeing places, and imagining going to Italy. It'll alleviate some of the stress of feeling alone and closed off. All right. Last technique is you actually allow yourself to feel alone. And then you listen to what it's trying to communicate to you. Now, ending loneliness has to do with reminding yourself that you're connected. If you're feeling alone, means you feel there's something more, right? So in terms of feeling there's something more, it's sort of a mechanism for us to remember that we're part of the universe, or God, or the goddess, or whoever you believe in. And it's a reminder that you're connected. And when you start feeling that disconnection, it just says, hey, wait a minute, I feel disconnected. Well, what you're connected to is just to remind you of that. And we're so busy every day, shopping, doing this, doing the school. I think it was Faye a minute ago that said, she's homeschooling 3 children. You forget about yourself, and you get your mind gets attached to the form, and you lose your ability to stay in the now. And COVID, what it does is it tells you stay home, which means, remember that you're a human being. The operative word is being, not human doing. All right. And so do now is start getting back to actually feeling that you can just be. All right. And then go back to the school, then go back to the dishes, and then, but remind yourself you're here to be. So this loneliness, some people will feel it as nostalgia. Okay. Remembering times. Some people feel in terms of mourning, as if they lost something, and that's okay, but write it down. If you can journal, all the best for you. And then take notes. And then you need to be able to regain that mysticism, which is the opposite of control, because you can't control everything anymore. This is showing us again, but you can allow mysticism, which allows you to go more towards freedom.
I'm laughing at Cass's comment. Can I imagine going to Ashley's to check out the pictures on the wall?
Of course. I do it all the time.
There's more.
And so,
yes, Ferrari is my favorite car manufacturer.
Sorry. And so if there's any more questions in terms of how to handle loneliness, I'll take some questions. If not, we'll start going to the reading part. If everybody is okay with that right now.
Well, we have.
Or actually, our new segment in a couple of minutes. What? Sorry, the good.
You're trying to skip the new segment.
Sorry. I'm looking at all these.
Rude.
Okay. Any questions for loneliness?
Trying to check them out.
Sorry.
Well,
The thing doesn't go down anymore. Here it goes. Actually, I'll put this here instead of putting it on the other screen. Are we including the archangels? Yes, you can when you're asking. Some of them, I remember doing some work with people and they would say Archangel Michael or Gabriel. So it's quite possible. Here we go. Okay, so there's no questions. If there's any question, I can always answer a little bit more. If not, we're going to go to our new segment, the good shit. So
yeah.
What's up with that this week? What are
Say
some
with
positive
enthusiasm? The good shit.
Matthew, I'll let you lead.
Best shit. So the good shit is our new in-show segment where we are dedicating it to talking about good news that is happening around the world. So if you guys have any leads on people doing exceptional things, exceptional work, it can be a person, it can be a group of people, it can be 12 Ashleys, changing the world even, whatever. Please let us know. We want to hear the good news from around the world. And we want to celebrate all of the good things that people are doing. So we have decided that we are going to create this intro segment so that we can celebrate all of the wonderful people doing wonderful things. And Alain had mentioned that he had heard of somebody. We could not track down this person, unfortunately, other than that we know she's real. Like not in like a weird stay on Ouija board calling her way, but in a real way, with somebody in the Ottawa area who basically made Thanksgiving dinners for people who did not have Thanksgiving dinners of their own. So that is one example. Another example of the good shit is we wanted to give a shout out to the many restaurants and businesses, specifically in Ottawa, but we know it's happening other places as well, that have taken it on themselves to close their doors when they felt that they could be at risk for transmitting the virus. So, we want to talk about good things that people are doing. If you guys know of somebody rocking the good shit, please throw it up in the comments right now. We would love to give a shout out to them. And over time, we are going to surf the waves of the internet and try and find more and more people that we can celebrate for doing beautiful things. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think is a motivating factor? And I'm talking to my co-host, co-creators here, for people doing good things. I think that when the mood hits, we want to be generous. We want to step into our heart. But I also think at a divine plan level, we have those moments of alignment at just the right moment where we can actually bring a positive energy to the world around us. What do you guys think?
That's a loaded question, man.
I know.
I'll let Ashley, you want to go? Or
30 seconds to talk about it.
What I will have as long as I want. I'm also part of this show.
Yeah, I think that I love this segment because it puts out a positive spin finally instead of just negative shit literally flowing into the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
So I like our new segment, the good shit. I don't think that it should just be limited, obviously, to Ottawa, where we're from. I think it should be anywhere in the world that some good shit goes down and that we should tell people, hey, listen, Glenda over in Ireland is good shit, and this is why.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, if you're Glenda from Ireland and you do something cool, let us know. But I think it's something that's wicked, and I'm excited for it. And maybe, who knows, maybe you'll win shit in the future when we can start offering that stuff.
I can immediately offer half a pack of Post-it notes for some of these good deeds. They're mostly green, but there's a few pink ones left.
What about an infrared thermometer?
I want to do
right now. Those are hot right now.
I want one. I don't even need one, but I
do
want
altruistic things a little bit more to bring their mood back up themselves. When you're feeling that you feel powerless, it's always good to help others. I know when people feel desperate, I always tell them, well, go help somebody. So I think in that sensing that giving or being able to be there for somebody, like for myself, I brought the turkey to Storm's mom. She made it. And then instead of giving it to me, this person, like we were talking about, she asked, I think this person's in Vanier district in Ottawa. And she said, there's some people, that would want. And she asked, and 3 people, I think one person came to get it and distributed it to 3 other people, which I thought was really cool. So a lot of that, I believe, needs to be done, especially in these times. I'm looking at all the comments here. Ottawa Stray Cat Rescue.
We do a lot of good shit,
Donate
apparently,
as
Marianne
much
says.
as possible. That's very good, Michael. It's again, Margie has a very good point here. Margie or Margie? I'm sorry, I'm French, so I'm probably I don't know. Margie. Advocate for people who can't for themselves. I know a lot of people on disabilities are having a very hard time because they're by themselves, and and again, the homeless are having a really hard time. Same thing. People that have addiction, and so if you can help somebody, again, by not putting yourself in harm's way, I think would be a very good thing during this time. So I'm looking at the time, guys. It's 7:40. I'm sure some people would like to have a little bit more insights into the future. I'll let Ashley or Matthew choose one of the names, or whoever would like to ask a question. We'll start taking some Q&As right now, or intuitive Q&As.
And just as a reminder, the Q&As can be personal questions. They can be world questions. We will go to whoever we are drawn to and try and help as many people as we possibly can.
Correct.
So please, 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 some things so we don't sit here for 20 minutes staring at each other.
I'm sure we won't have to do that.
Marianne says, keep supporting small local business. 100%, Mariana. If you guys take what Mariana just said, supporting small business, now more than ever, your local stores need your help. So if you are looking for, whether it's food or furniture, something for the home or clothing, try and look for something that's locally owned. That does include franchises, because a lot of those franchises are locally owned. So make that effort. And
it's a good thing, because I myself the other day was going to order from Amazon, and then I thought, wait a minute, why don't I just get it at Winners? The store's open right now, so it's it's a couple of bucks just even there, and it'll help the local economy. For those of you that don't have that much time cooking, or are very tired at the end of the day from taking care of all those kids, maybe you want to order in one time, even if it's tight, just to support the local restaurants who are going to have to go more in terms of how do you call it, takeout. All right. Yeah. And that goes throughout the world. I'm sure there's people from the US here, or Australia, England, wherever. So I'm pretty sure it goes for everybody. All right.
Hello, Christina Weigel from the East Coast.
Oh, I love the East Coast.
East Coast crews in the house.
They're amazing. I've never met an East Coaster
there today for 2 years, and I thought, I can't go. It's COVID.
I like this question by Heather. How far into the future can someone see to?
The dark hole. The dark hole.
For myself, not sure about either one of you. Myself was about 25 years. Not that I do that all the time, though, but that's something I was able to validate afterwards, 25 years later.
I can usually do, so to me, I do different styles of predicting, right? So I can do, like, this will happen on this day, or this week, or this month, and in this year. And Ashley and me have a funny story about that. We do. The delay story, where everything happened on those dates, but a different year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can do like the specific to like the week and month predictions, usually like at least 5 years out. Sometimes it's been longer. And then but overarching, like big lesson or big event predictions, I haven't noticed any time like limitations on it. For me, like things that are helpful and useful. So I'm not going to be able to predict something that is random that doesn't matter. Yeah, so I haven't personally noticed like a limit of when I can predict into.
Good question. Next question. Let's see here.
Thank you, Karen. Karen says she loves the show.
Aw.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we love having you here, Karen.
All right, so let's see here. If you see one before me, guys, go right ahead. I'm trying to look through these things here.
Crystal Lee, is there a spirit in my store? I'm just gonna go with a probably. Yeah, there's spirits everywhere. It's creeping
Which
around.
question is that?
What?
Who asked the question?
Crystal Lee. I chuckled at it. Typically, any store, like I don't know about you, but like any of us probably walk into, there's always some weird shit going on. Just saying.
You'll make people freak
High probability.
2. I see 2. Krista Lee got it. 2. Matt?
Yeah, I'm looking. I gotta go with where I'm drawn.
Vaccine, is it coming? When is it coming? Lindsay's just all freaking out right now.
I'll do that one. I got the vaccine one. I immediately got information, so I'll go with that. So, when is it coming and when will it work are two very different things. So, I feel like there's going to be vaccines that begin to pop up in December and in January, February, March. Like those, like 4 months, I see vaccines popping up. I also see that they're going to slowly also drop off for the most part. I also feel that there will be a third wave of the pandemic that comes around March-ish or springtime. And I feel like it will be very, very, very minimal. So it will be like the least intense wave that we have had. After that, I do not see this virus posing a big problem in the future. I think that it will show up every year, but in small, isolated pockets. And it will kind of be like the way that swine flu has become, where it's not a huge in-your-face big deal anymore. I believe that a vaccine will be completely available after the month of March, but I also feel like at that time it will not really be that needed. So that's my 2 cents on that. So will we see vaccines before then? Yes, I do not see them all being successful. I see that most of them will drop off, and then a really solid vaccine coming by the time we don't really need one, unfortunately.
That's super fortunate because I ain't taking it. Just saying.
That is a personal view from Ashley.
And I'm like a pro-vaxxer, and I'm not going to take it.
I wouldn't. I know it's like, people are waiting for that huge solution. I wouldn't see it as just a simple solution.
I was just reading an article yesterday on the vaccine in the States and how someone has like this mysterious illness now, part of a trial. I'm like, see?
Oh, Johnson, yeah.
You stuck that shit in someone's arm, and now they're taking
trials, right?
No way.
For myself, I'm sensing the vaccine is not going to be the one that takes care of this virus. Even though there's I'm not sure how many. There's probably, there's this Sputnik one from Russia, which, no offense, Vlad, but
you call it the Sputnik one?
What
you call it? Sputnik?
Did he take it? His daughter took it. Sputnik, it's called.
Okay, so is it a spaceship or a president, Alain? Because I feel like we're mixing these things together.
What? Sorry?
Is it the spaceship or the president? Because I feel like we're mixing
the vaccine
things
is
together.
called Sputnik. That's what they called it, I believe.
That's
so China also has one that I think they're using on their military only. But in my sensing, I'm sensing more that this flu will be more like this coronavirus will be more like the 1918 flu in terms of maybe over time disappear. And I don't think it's just because of herd immunity either.
No,
the vaccine are a solution because it's giving people hope, but at the same time, I don't view it as the main solution.
Me either.
For that. So in that sense,
well, I'm glad we can all agree on one thing.
In terms of Deanna's question, how to help somebody in terms of dating during COVID, the best thing, unfortunately, right now,
wear a mask.
Probably. What?
Okay, but if we're going to talk about this, we need to talk about British Columbia's recommendation for
the Ontario Public Health.
Oh yeah, no, that was good too. But do you remember months ago what BC decided was appropriate? They were like phone sex, glory holes, condoms, and it was just like, what the hell? Ontario
Public Health
made these portable glory holes, which are just basically like a piece of wood with a hole in it, and you just like carry it around to sketchy alleyways and bars. I'm really shocked nobody Etsy'd that.
I would not recommend that.
Or Ontario Public Health was like, if you're going to engage in the sex, make sure you wash your hands. And like the sex. Oh, and wear a mask. And
what about the mask? Don't forget the mask.
It said partner, and then in brackets with an S, like partners,
limit it to those partners. Like,
All 20 of them.
But interestingly enough, like,
21st
all
bubble.
jokes aside here, and public safety measures in place, Deanna, probably online. I think there's Facebook dating now. I've heard somebody talk about recently.
Did you try
Not
that?
that I'm in for the online, but the best way actually is to, when I coach people in relationship coaching, is for people to write down their values and write down what is it that you're looking for. That when actually, not that you're looking for, but that you'll know that that's the person you want to date. So as an example, the person has to be funny, the person has to be intelligent, write those things. I'm not going to get all the way into them right now, because I was going to say travel. The person likes to travel, but right now is not a good thing, right? So write it down. I think the question I usually ask are, what are the 8 ingredients I need to have in order to feel that I'm in a successful relationship? And so that actually enables your mind to start recognizing from the future when you have accomplished that task, and then creating the synchronicity to bring it to you. So it's
I feel like your dating profile might be
going
very
backwards.
intense.
What?
I feel like your dating profile would be very intense and
Yeah.
sentimental.
It would be. Unlike what mine used to be. Apparently,
I'm gonna
Etienne
send
said,
an emotional quotient test. You take it, and then we'll see from there. It's like an interview. No, but seriously,
It's
also
scary.
go to friends, probably by chatting. Some people I know right now are doing Zoom, and then they're meeting on some sites, and then they talk through Zoom. Again, just be careful because you're under COVID restrictions right now. What else here?
Michael, glory holes.
Actually, what I should have just read the person instead of giving the advice. Now that I think about it,
I'm seeing
through
one that
friends, I would say through friends for her, for Deanna Minor. Is a COVID infection worth the kiss? Depends on your immune system.
Depends on
I would
what
say
kind of
no.
person they are.
I saw a question I wanted to answer. It was somebody asking about a surgery date. Oh, here it is. Found it. So Crystal says, I'm waiting to hear about a surgery. Just curious about a time frame when I will actually have it. I see that it will be confirmed not in the super distant future. I actually see January for the time that the surgery will take place. So I think it will be, yeah. I feel like you might even be given 2 dates, and that's why I'm seeing December and January. Or maybe pre-op is December and the surgery is January, but I do see that it will be done by the end of January. I really get the beginning of January, end of December, beginning of January, Crystal, and I feel like it will go well.
Okay. I'm seeing here, Gail Holland, please send extra prayers my way. Thank you. We'll do that. I myself have a list of people I pray for every night. So I'll just add you on our list. Another one would be, let's see here. I'll let you choose since I just did one. You did one, Matt, if there's anybody else that you want to hear.
Sure. Let's see. Okay, Cass Ryan asked, and this is way up there. I saw it, but I can't find it to post it. But it was about her online event that she has coming up and what impact, if any, it will have on her business. And so what I'm getting, Cass, I feel like it will go well. They are showing me that like doing more of these events positive. I see like a slow but steady growth as long as you continue like doing what you're doing and kind of grinding it out there. I feel like it will go well. And I feel like over the next 2 years, you're going to notice that your business really begins to take off. I feel that it will take a while before it gets to be exactly where you want it. I'm going to say July 2 years from now. So that's July 2022. That's where I see you being like, okay, I think I've arrived closer to where I want to be. They are showing that you're going to add new skills. You're going to add new things to your toolbox. And then I'm seeing an image of me and LA. So to me, this is saying something like what we do. So readings or some kind of psychic work will become very strong. I know that you already do Reiki because I followed you on Instagram yesterday. or this morning, one of the two. And I'm very impressed by your work as well, Cass Ryan. But yeah, so I feel like adding more things to your toolbox is going to move you in that direction. I feel like you're going to move forward with teaching as being a primary component of what you do. And I feel like you will be successful. I think it's just a matter of trial and error and putting things out there and seeing how they go. But the message that I get from Spirit for you is to not give up on this, that this is something that I feel will unfold for you. It's just going to happen slowly over time. Looks good. And I think sometimes, from at a personal note, this is now my advice for you as somebody who's been doing this for 2 hours. Is that when you do an event that you love, even if there was 1 or 2 people at it, if it gives you the drive to keep moving forward, if it like ignites that passion in your heart, that's super important, because that is what will allow you to have a high vibration. It will allow those ideas and inspirations from Spirit to flow to you more easily. Okay. So I think go in there, have a super fucking great time. And I feel that that positive energy will actually bring you the shifts that you're looking for over time. And Cass Ryan she looks really cool. Everyone check her out. I think she's awesome. I will post this. This is Cass Ryan, and she is doing amazing work in the healing community.
Nice. I get about 3 years, as you're mentioning it, to be more solid and a great foundation, and really her feeling it, that she's there. I was trying to, since I'm French, it says Stitchers big event Friday. I'm like, what's a Stitchers? What's Stitchers? And that means us. I didn't get it at first, so I apologize.
I didn't get it either. You're not alone.
I got it, but that's because I'm far superior. Just kidding. I didn't get it either.
That's okay. Let's see the other person here. I had this things keep rolling down. I lose what I'm supposed to look at. Let's see here. I'm looking for, is there a Brandy somewhere? Brandy, I think. Oh, here. I've been seeing someone for months. Do you see this going anywhere? Just a moment here. I think you might live a little bit more stress in the next couple of weeks due to COVID and anything like that. I would still keep going if you're going to decide to want to stay in a relationship for long term, so that at the same time as you're going through that relationship, you learn more skills. Let's see here if someone from us, I would let it progress, but again, it's going to be slow all the way till the end of the year. Again, I think it's under not just the restrictions, but the ability to do things together, and the communication seems to be good. I see it going a little bit more over time, but I think again by next year you'll see some shift early on next year.
We have some swag coming soon.
What is Stitcher?
That's
I'm like a fag for swag. If the word swag is in it, I'm there. So.
I just know Stitcher as in like a podcasting platform.
Oh, I thought it was Sitcher. Maybe I messed it up even more.
Like Sitcher?
Sitchers.
Mariana, what is a Sitcher? Oh, wait a minute. We're dumb. The Sitcher, it's the Sitch Show. We're Sitchers.
That's what I've been saying for like 5 minutes.
No, you have not.
All right. You want to take one extra one, Matthew, before we leave?
Sure.
This thing
Let me see. And I will procure a message. I will shake the medium tree for one of you guys. See what falls out. Okay. I saw somewhere. Let me look. There was one that I was drawn to. Oh my God. Okay, found it. So Brody says, "Hi guys, hope all is well and you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. Just wondering if you would have anything from my spirit guides tonight." So Brody, as I'm stepping into your energy field, as I'm stepping into your vibration, the first thing that I'm getting from your spirit guides is to take a deep breath to relax the body a little bit. They are saying that they are acknowledging a feeling of kind of being stepped back, like you're kind of observing the world around you, but not feeling like you're a part of the world around you. They're wanting you to know this feeling is very, very, very temporary. I also see job or work changes for you next month, in the month of December. No, 2 months, in the month of December. It looks like it's the for end of the first week of December into the second week of December. I see something coming down the pike for you. I see a new opportunity arising or presenting itself for you. I feel like it's going to be very, very positive. Also in the new year, Brody, but it's like later in the new year, around August-ish, maybe September at the latest. I see a possibility for a move for you that looks really, really, really positive. I'm excited about that for you. Things look really good. I feel like you are at the end of a lot of challenging lessons. I feel like going forward, things are about to shift in your favor. They are saying that you've been feeling blocked with flow lately. So things that you were working towards, goals that you've had, things you wanted to do, not really progressing. There's been an element of stagnancy or block flow. And I really feel that once you hit December, like mid-December, that block clears and you're actually going to feel like you're finally in flow within your path and that things are moving in a direction that you're happy with. So things actually look really good for you, Brody. They really do. Just breathe through this moment and things will be fantastic.
Just breathe.
Nice. Very nice. I can't even find the name, to be honest. If I want to comment, I can't find it. All right, we're at a close. Anybody want to say one last thing or as we leave off?
Or would anyone like to see us talk about a specific topic on the next episode, and or even just out of me, like anything that I could help people with specifically in my niche, anything that I think, next one I'm hosting, I think. So yeah, anything from me that you want to hear, anything from LA that you want to hear, or Matt, I'm going this way, it was supposed to go that way, that one. Let us know, and then we will talk about it and possibly throw it in the next episode.
Because the show is for you, right? So if ever also you want a private reading from either myself or from Matthew, please contact us or inbox us. But again, the show is for you. So as we're developing it every week, we'll do a debrief after this, look at what we could have done better. And again, next week, we're going back to noon on Tuesday. Is that correct?
I love these people's comments.
Me too.
Noon next Tuesday. So make sure you see us or watch us rather. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to inbox us, and we'll see you next week. Unless Matthew, you have something else that you wanted to say.
Everyone wants swag.
The Sitch is the shit. Nice.
Stitcher swag.
I guess if I get to push the stop broadcast button, I'll leave everybody with one last very important thing, and that is, are you ready for it?
No,
because we're at it. Say it so that we can't argue about it.
Thanks, everyone.
Pineapple does indeed